Good morning, my gorgeous people. It is another beautiful day in Cambodia, and we are on the hunt for ancient abandoned temples. Now, I am in approximately the middle of nowhere, somewhere in the middle of Cambodia to the east of Siem Reap. The village is called Kampong Svei, and the temple that I'm heading for, or the ruins thereof, that's called Pre Khan. Now, the only way to get here is by dirt road, and like I say, we're really not near anywhere in particular. You also have to be a bit careful if you're trying to navigate here using Google Maps, because this is another stop on the King's Road, the ancient highway which runs from east to west in Cambodia, running all the way up to Angkor Wat. As I said before, it's lined with the ruins of magnificent temples. However, not all of the King's Road is in particularly good condition these days. Some of it looks just like this, and you can barrel along, but other parts of it are apparently Enduro hell. In particular, the stretch to the west of Kampong Svei is the one which is renowned for making people give up and sleep in cowsheds on the way. So, yeah, it sounds like fun, but you probably want to be prepared. Anyway, today's mission is temples. It's still early morning. As you can see, the light is still beautifully clear and soft, and I'm just heading a few kilometers down the road to find these mythical ruins. I rolled into the village last night, and this is such a small place that there's not even a guest house here. However, you can go and sleep at the village chief's house. They have some beds there, and they will cook you food and make sure you're well looked after. So here we have my idyllic village accommodation under the mango trees. We have my beastie stashed down by the wood heap, and my dinner being cooked over a charcoal brazier. Yes, that's my dinner, a magnificent fish stuffed with aromatic herbs and spices, which kind of look like grass. And here is the delicious end result, complete with larvae, which actually tasted really delicious and are undoubtedly a great source of protein. The evening I arrived, I was too tired from shenanigans with quicksand and dry sand and all the other kinds of sand to do much except chill out. Now, I did spend some time watching a little boy literally play with fire. He had a cigarette lighter and was having a lovely little time in the backyard. In an echo of simpler times, nobody was the slightest bit concerned about this. Anyway, at the ripe old age of 4, he seemed to have figured out both that fire is hot and you shouldn't burn your house down, so everything was absolutely fine. Here is a shot of my modest accommodation lying under the mosquito nets with the absolute luxury of an electric fan. Now, unfortunately, the gods of travel were not entirely with me on this day because I seem to have rocked up in the village on the occasion of some sort of ceremony or community event. And all afternoon, all evening, and half of the night, there were loud chants and announcements and music and singing and chants and announcements ad nauseum on the loudspeakers, which were set up in the house next door. Now, the village loudspeakers are set up so that everyone in the entire village will hear the news, and this village is very spread out, so you can only imagine the volume of these speakers. Anyway, all good. Nothing a bit of an afternoon nap won't fix. So morning comes and the noise starts again at 6 a.m. So I decide to go and look at the temple. And wow, what a temple. But in fact, it's not just a temple, it's an entire temple complex. This is just the front gate. Beyond this gate lie ponds and lakes and multiple temples and edifices, the purpose and dedication of which I cannot imagine. You just walk out of the jungle and there is literally not another soul here. It's just me walking underneath these stones, which were put here in the 11th century. Hewn by hand. By whom? Who made this temple? Were they conscripted Angkorian labourers, or were they Thai prisoners of war? Or some other group altogether? Everything has been hewn and chiselled painstakingly by hand, with interlocking pieces between the stone blocks. There is no mortar in this construction. Today, the encroaching jungle both destroys and holds up this incredible edifice. Wandering through these ruins makes you feel extremely small and insignificant, both in time and in space. The civilization seems at once so magnificent and so flimsy. So come with me while we take a walk through the ruins. I am currently walking across the stone walkway which would have gone over the top of ponds and moats in a grand approach to the inner temples.
Oh, monkeys.
There are monkeys and squirrels flitting amongst the ruins, and the sound of birds and insects as the jungle wakes up for the day and the heat grows. It's extremely humid here, and I can feel the sweat dripping off the tip of my nose, dripping off the edge of my jaw, dripping down my back. But the climate seems kind of fitting. It seems like this is not a place where you should be comfortable. You should be in a state of wonder, and you should be in a state of awe. You should certainly not be comfortable. As you can see, there are a few wooden structures, some of which are helping to support structures which might collapse, and others, like this one, which are designed to help you walk through the ruins without damaging anything. However, apart from these rare wooden constructions, the site is completely deserted and completely unrestored. Unlike Angkor Wat, which has been restored in various iterations over the years, this temple has been pretty much completely ignored. As it's being ignored this morning as well. There you go, look at the crowds. To be perfectly honest, this is what I had always imagined when I thought I want to ride my motorcycle through Cambodia, and I want to go to the out-of-the-way places. I wanted to be here amongst the temple ruins, in a place where there was nobody else, where there was nothing between me and the profundity of this place. The sun is finally coming up and hitting the ruins, tinting everything slightly golden pink. Actually, speaking of pink, you can see these reddish pink stains on the ruins just to my left. Now, this, I understand, is actually a special kind of fungus, which is in fact eating the ruins. Apparently, this fungus creates a kind of acid, and that causes the ruins to gradually dissolve. Obviously, this is happening at a slow rate. These ruins have been here since the 11th or 12th century. But interestingly enough, I believe that this very pink fungus has only been found here at this site in Pre Khan, and it hasn't been seen at Angkor Wat or anywhere else yet. As I get further and further inside the temple complex, I get more and more of a feeling of wonder. Most of these temples were originally built as Hindu temples, and then in the 12th century onwards, they were converted to Buddhist temples. The more you travel through Asia, the more you get an appreciation for the complex and interlocking history of the different cultures and empires in this amazing part of the world. Even when you simply try to learn a language, you start to see the Sanskrit roots coming out. All the way through Indonesia, through Cambodia, through Thailand, you can detect, even in the language, the shadow of a Hindu past. Not to mention the animist roots, which go far, far further back into the depths of prehistory. This place is a profound reminder that civilizations, they come and they go. Even the mightiest among them will fall.